Hey everybody, John the Other here. Now, you should probably know that in recording this is like the 4th or 5th time I've tried to record this video. I'm talking about the incident on the New York subway with the 4 angry, entitled, retarded, obnoxious young women, and the one of them who eventually slaps a guy about twice her size and within a fraction of a second gets slapped back about 2 to 3 times harder than she hit him, gets basically the daylights knocked out of her, and then that guy immediately has to fight a bystander who stepped in as a white knight to defend the honor of that horrendous, nasty piece of work woman who initiated that violence. I think a major part of most people on a pathway of MGTOW is a rejection and an absolute refusal of the casual abuse and the casual violence that it seems so many otherwise normally socialized young women believe that it is their right to deliver onto men. I know I've been hit and punched and variously subject to casual violence from female acquaintances through most of my life. In fact, I once had a female employee who repeatedly hit me, and after each time I dragged her out of the office and basically gave her the riot act, she did it again and again until I had to fire her. The New York subway incident is very illustrative, though, because the most aggressive of those 4 young women who was hectoring that guy and socially humiliating him and just going at him and at him in a closed environment on a subway car where he couldn't just walk away. She eventually worked herself up to hitting him, and he hit her back. And normally that would end the fight. That's it. Whap! Down she goes, fight over. But he then instantaneously had a white knight jumping on him, and that was, a real fight. He had to actually defend himself. Now, as matters turned out, this guy was big enough and tough enough that he was able to handle it. But I'm sure both of those guys got hurt to some degree. And for MGTOWs refusing casual violence, this is the problem. It's not that women are tougher than you, or bigger, or can have bigger fists, or can hurt you. I mean, they can, but in general terms, women can't fight for shit. But when you defend yourself, you're not fighting her anymore. You're fighting every guy around you. You may be mobbed by a group of people who were completely casual while she was attacking you, but the minute you raise your hand in self-defense, now you're fighting the whole train car. In the case of that subway car, he was fighting one guy. Now, I would love to be able to say what Whoopi said, which is, if you're a young woman and you initiate violence against a man, expect to get it right back. I know, though, that women aren't going to listen to that. They're certainly not going to listen to it from me, a man, right? They're above me. They know that they can hit me whenever they feel like it. They're protected. They're not going to get a consequence in law, and probably in a case of actual violence, as soon as anything starts to happen, they've got everybody around them to jump in and beat the shit out of me, should I dare to raise my hand in self-defense. So I'm not going to try to convince young women that they should behave like responsible or civilized human beings. I know that they're not. But I do want to say this to the white knights. If you see a situation like the one on that train car, the guy was clearly being harassed and humiliated and attacked and eventually physically assaulted by that woman, and he, at the end, he couldn't take it anymore, he hit her back. When you see a guy being victimized who finally defends himself, and then you, the white knight, decide you're going to step in and defend little princess. Now, when you jump in to defend the honor of some woman who has started violence against the guy, right, and who's defended himself, and now you, the white knight, you're going to punish him for having the nerve to raise his hand in his own defense. Well, it won't be me. Don't get the idea that this video is about me threatening people. I'm talking about what's happening in our society. When you decide to jump on that guy, you the white knight, and punish him for daring to raise his hand, I hope he kills you. I hope he cripples you, because that's the correct and just result of your actions. And everybody else, have a lovely day.